Good morning. It's still morning. I think it's still morning. Good Monday. It's afternoon. Good afternoon. See, I don't even know because I slept in till 10. So I not to brag, but I want to show you guys what it's like to be your own boss, I guess. And that any of you guys can achieve this if you just work hard. You know, do something outside of work rather than spend money on fucking dune buggies and trips to Mexico that you don't need. So, but if you're going down for like a tax seminar and see some hookers, that's different. So I can understand that. But for the most part, we went and had some pancakes this morning. I'm just waiting on you, Mama. Just waiting on you to clear the area. So we went and had some pancakes at Chase's, and then we went to the Walmart, and it was like not busy, and it was fucking great because everybody's at work complaining about how they should have taken the day off. And in fact, some of you were at home with hangovers from yesterday because you fucking stopped drinking when you were supposed to, and you know, and then you wonder why you don't have a paycheck or whatever. So it's dumb things. Don't do dumb things. So, but Sherry and I were talking about this morning about, you know, we watched Jeff Foxworthy last night, which was not a great special. Jeff seemed like he was out of breath and old, and his jokes were not as, I don't want to say offensive, but as raunchy and as daring as some of his previous work. It seemed very censored, and he dressed like Ellen, which I was like, okay. Like, I'm not saying you can't dress like Ellen. I'm just saying you're a grown man dressing like Ellen. But no, the name of the special is called The Good Old Days, and it was funny where you know, people reminisce about how things used to be better than they are now, and the truth is that they weren't. It's just easier to manage now that you're, you know, 20/20 hindsight. But anyways, the special was not great. I don't recommend it, and I just recommend, you know, if you got pissed off this morning that you had to commute and you had to drop your kids off at daycare, which is fucking expensive. You know, don't wait around for the government to try to help you. Yeah, you got to do something different. First of all, stop having so many kids. Second. Again, try to do something that is home-based so that you can be home with the kids and that they don't have to go to, you know, someone else's care or whatever. Now, if you're one of those parents that secretly hates your kids, there's nothing I can do about that. You're a terrible person, and you like to drink. So, but I would say, you know, learn to love people, learn to appreciate the time that you have with your kids, because it could be easily taken away. But it looks like it's going to rain maybe later today, and it's just really nice out. We wanted to take the dogs out before we started the day or the week or whatever, and just, again, think about how grateful you are for everything, and you know, including the haters and people that are just pains in your butt in your life. You know, if you got a shitty boss or whatever, shitty coworkers, you know, see what you can do to change that circumstance instead of just complaining about it. You know, things could be so much worse. And if you don't think so, watch any Holocaust movie. Things can definitely be worse, but you always have a choice, even in a situation like that. And so instead of making a hard choice when it's hard, why don't you make a hard choice when it's easy? So, and that goes back to my thing about, you know, people talk about the good old days. And the problem with the good old days is that when things are good, people don't make hard decisions. They don't say, hey, this could be temporary. They say, this is going to be like this forever. And then they blow their money on stupid shit instead of investing and learning how to be a better investor and to retire early. Somebody had commented, they said, hey, if you could go back and tell your younger self, you know, or even your father, how to better raise you. And I was like, I got really strict and really what a lot of young people or even older people would call mean. And that's because your job as a parent is to help this child become an adult as soon as possible. And what I mean by that is to mature in a fashion that helps them be self-sustaining so that they don't need you and they're not required. You know, they don't require your assistance. Teach them how to make money, even at 3 and 4 years old. Put them to work. I remember watching a episode of Wife Swap, which I thought was fantastic. And they made it, I think they made it like white mom versus black dad or whatever, just to kind of show the cultural differences and things like that. But if I remember right, I don't quite remember, but I remember one of the kids being really sad because the mom, their new mom, whatever, because they switched the parents, the new mom wouldn't let them work. And they came from a farm. And they're like, well, I usually slop the pigs and I rake up the dookie and I do all this kind of stuff. And the mom was like, no, you're a kid, play video games. And the kid was just so disheartened because he couldn't contribute. He couldn't feel like he was part of the family unit. And that's one of the things that people do, you know, especially people that hate kids or hate the responsibility of kids. And then they just give them a tablet or video games to shut them up. And then they go have a glass of wine as if that's going to make anything better. And it doesn't. All it does is make things worse. So the reality is to face reality. And the longer that you push that, knock that can down the road, the worse it gets. And so I recommend you don't do that. So, but again, you know what to do. Sherry and I talked about this morning about, I think she's going to get the gastric bypass. And one of the things they said was, you know, hey, no more caffeine. And so Sherry picked up decaf from Costco, and I started laughing, and she's like, what's so funny? And I go, first of all, decaf doesn't have that. It has less caffeine, but it still has caffeine in it. It has a lot of caffeine in it. And I said, second, the real answer is to stop drinking coffee. Number one, because your body's already acclimated to it. So the only thing you're using it for is to help you poop every morning, and you already poop enough. I think you can back off the coffee. And I said, and third, you're delusional. You're telling yourself, oh, you know, and people do this all the time, which is like, they'll try to take on a project where they're not prepared and they don't have the resources. And so what ends up happening is they fail. And also on top of that, their self-talk is always about failure. Like, oh, it happened again. I failed again. I'll never win. All this, and it's really foolish and stupid to take on a project without being, you know, as prepared as you can. Now, if you can't help that, then you can't help that. But if you can help that, yes, do planning and all this kind of stuff. Like right now, I would not try to move. That's suicide. So, but do I think about moving? Yes, but I plan, and figure out a working plan, and then work that plan. But otherwise, what happens is people do what's called wishful thinking, and really what it is it's a slow version of failure. When I'd rather fail quickly so that I still have time to try again. You see what I'm saying? So it's better to fail quickly and suddenly so that you can recover and then try again and, you know, try something different. But yeah, so back to what I was saying about Sherry and the caffeine is like the best thing for you to do is just knock that off. And then if you go, oh, I'm gonna, you know, you feel worried that you're not going to be able to, you know, survive without coffee. And it's like, how would you look at that? How would you look at your addictions that maybe being addicted to coffee is not such a great thing, and learn how to be a stronger human being rather than trying to get everybody else to join in and you're commiserating your misery and your self-pity. But that's typically what society does is, you know, and that's what sporting events are about. And that's what, you know, getting drunk on a Sunday before work is all about. And then you dread going to work and everybody dreads it and you all bond together with your dread. That's a terrible, horrible thing. And until you do something different, you're going to keep getting the same results. So, and that's even less pity or even, you know, what's the word? I don't want to say pity for people, but just feeling, you know, sorry for them and have some sort of, whatever. It's not emotion, it's called something else. Anyways, I can't think of the word. No. It's sort of like feeling sorry for people.
Oh, sympathy?
Yeah, empathy. I don't have empathy for people that have put themselves in that situation, especially when they had a choice, and they always have a choice. So, and then when you continually do this, when you continually have, you know, again, you're allowing the child to be unsupervised, and you know, you're just drinking wine and thinking everything's fine and they're fine. Oh, they need some space and all that kind of stuff, instead of interacting with your child and really finding out who they are as a human being and how you can help them, you're doing everyone a disservice. And I don't want to say you might as well give up. Of course, you know, my parents didn't, and I'm grateful of what they did. I got my 10 fingers, 10 toes. You know, now diabetes is my fault. If I lose all those 10 fingers, 10 toes, that's my fault. But they got me here. Now, as far as owing them for the rest of my life, that's a definite 0 no. And you know, my dad's gone, thank God, and my mom, you know, I would love to have a relationship with her. However, her OCD, she allows her OCD to be the captain of her ship, and that doesn't work. Hey guys. Oh my gosh. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later.